Today we're going to take a look at a couple of old school Ruger pistols, the P90 and the P89, so stick around. Welcome back to the channel, crew. Today we're going to do a little side-by-side comparison between the Ruger P90 and the Ruger P89. But before we get to that, I want to remind everybody, if you like what you see here, be sure and hit that subscribe button. And also, maybe if you're already even subscribed, make sure you hit that notification bell, because odds are notifications are not going to go out, and if you don't click that, you pretty much ensure that they don't. Now first, I just want to say that I've owned both of these pistols for years. They are really workhorses. They're really tanks, built really well. They're not the most beautiful things to look at. Controls on them are a little bit clunky, but they've always done a wonderful job. I've had zero issues with either one. The only thing I've done is upgrade to the Hogue wraparound grip. So let's talk about some of the similarities between these two particular pistols from Ruger. Both have an aluminum alloy frame. Both are obviously single action, double action, semi-automatic pistols. The overall length on both is about 7 3/4 inches, and the barrel length on both is 4.5 inches. Another similarity to note on these is that both have a traditional 3-dot style, 2-dot in the rear, 1-dot in the front sighting system. Now when we start talking about differences, let's start with dimensions, because the Ruger P90, being chambered in 45 ACP, is just a little bit higher, the grip height, that sort of thing, a little bit higher, and also a little bit thicker than the 9mm P89, which is totally understandable. Also, the Ruger P90 is 34 ounces, again with the little bit of added weight because it's a little bit thicker, a little bit taller. The P89 comes in at about 32 ounces. Now, as I mentioned before, the P90 is chambered in 45 ACP, the P89 chambered in 9mm. As far as magazine capacity, you've got 8+1 capacity on the P90, you've got 15+1 capacity on the P89. Another difference to pay attention on these, because the P90 is a 45 ACP, it is a single stack magazine, and the P90, being a 9mm, is a double stack magazine. Real quickly, as far as manufacturing date, like I said, these are sort of a couple of old school pistols here from Ruger. The P90 is in production from 1991 to 2010. The P89 in production from 1992 to 2007. Now there is one difference in between these two that is not specific to the P90 or the P89, and that is the safety decocking system on this particular line, what they call the P series of Ruger. You will find these that are decocker safety, and then you will find these that are decocker only. In my case here, the Ruger P90 is a Ruger P90 DC, which is the decocker only, and the P89 is just the standard P89 that actually has the decocker and safety. So let's explain that real quickly and give you a little bit of a visual. Before we do, I'm going to run through a safety check here. Magazine empty, and chamber is empty. Get that magazine out of the way for right now. Now we'll check the P89 here. Magazine is empty. Pistol is empty. There we go. Now, let's take a look, first of all, at the P89, which is the safety decocker. Now, if I rack the slide here, you'll notice it has put the hammer back, and it's ready to fire here, of course. If I drop the safety, it having a decocker, it's going to decock the hammer. However, if I leave the safety down, I get no double action pull. Notice I'm pulling the trigger. It's not pulling the hammer back. Whereas if I turn it off and pull the trigger, notice the hammer going back. See the double action working? So that is because it is not only a decocker, but a safety. Now let's do the same thing with the P90. I'll show you how that works. Again, rack that slide back, flip the decocker, the hammer drops. Hammer is dropped. Notice there is no way to leave that in the down position. So when I pull the trigger here, our double action works. It is pulling back the hammer. So one last thing we need to hit on here with each of these is the quality, I guess you could say, of the trigger. Both of these being an old school design, modern triggers and modern pistols that are produced today, way better. The technology's gotten better. These do leave a little bit something to be desired. That said, they shoot good and they're great pistols for the money. Let's kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about here. And we'll do this in a single action pull. Let's rack that slide back on the P90 and watch. Remember, we are clear, magazine's out. Watch as I pull out. Look how much travel we've got there. Quite a bit before it even starts to get any resistance. Then I will start to pull, and look how much more travel there is before it's got to stop. Right now we are about to release the hammer, so I'll pull a little more and a little more, and it finally dropped. And I'm going to hold the trigger back, because one thing that I want to show you is the reset. The reset is absolutely god-awful. Understandable on an older model pistol. But now I'm going to let off and wait for that reset. And that should have been it. That was definitely a click. And there we go. We got it again. So let's do the P89, and you'll see real quickly it has to do with the particular P series pistol. Just old school. Nothing more, nothing less. Again, we've got all of this take up. Look at all this take up we got. Finally start getting some tension. We get up against the, what I call the wall there. It'll break. Quite a bit of pull there to try to get it to break. Rack it, and then let's listen and look for our reset. There it is. You'll notice it was quite a bit of movement. Pull the trigger, and there it is again. So not the greatest triggers in the world, but I have never claimed they were the greatest pistols in the world. Fun? Yes. Tanks? Yes. Well worth the money in most cases? Yes. So there you go, crew. Hopefully you've learned a little more about the Ruger P90 as well as the Ruger P89. Again, I can't recommend these more. If you can find a pretty good deal on them, I would definitely jump on it. If nothing else, they make really fun range toys. While you're hanging out here on the channel, be sure to check out some of our other videos. Thank you for watching, and until next time, don't forget to chain fire freedom.